Okay, so Sally, we were discussing that you finally had an off weekend, but you used that time to practice in a different way. Elaborate on that for us.
It was nice. We never get this time of a bye weekend in our normal season. So for us to really focus on Georgia State and what we're doing and really dive into the mental side of practice and terminating at a high level when pressure's on, we're able to really take last week and focus on the different parts of our game and push through some fatigue and mental fatigue and growth within our team. And our team did a great job. It was a building week. We started on Tuesday and finished on Friday, and they executed the pyramid. So they made all levels of the pyramid and finished the practice. So we have 4 levels and 4 different drills they have to execute. And if they don't accomplish the drill, they've dropped down a level. And so it's a very mentally challenging practice and environment.
Was this going to be done beforehand, or was this planned, or did the 3 losses to Coastal Carolina spur the impetus to try this method?
Well, a couple things kind of fell into this. Of course, the timing and not having to prepare for an opponent. For example, our normal week of practice looks like this week, where we have only 3 days of practice, depart Thursday, practice at App State Thursday. So it's a very short period of practice. And if there's things that we want to adjust in our point scoring or serve receive rotations, that's the shortened time we have to do it. And so we had the time, and then we also were pretty injured, banged up last week. And so that allowed some of our players to limit jumps and, really have pressure from a different perspective and not all the jumps or activity.
One player that has been on the court a lot for you is Leah Wilcox. I spoke with her about just her contributions and the dynamic of the team. What has she meant to the squad being a senior on a very unique classification or class setup of your roster?
So Leah came in as a transfer last year and made an immediate impact. She has such good ball control and hand control. She can terminate. She sees the block very well. She's very mature in her game. And so the biggest thing is for us to keep her healthy. And so throughout this season, she's been able to come in and play, work through some injuries, and make big impacts for us. So she's a fantastic blocker and attacker. She is a point scorer for us. And, she's truly a go-to player. We just would love to have her all the time.
Yeah, but discuss that as well. You've dealt with some injuries, and I think everyone that's been healthy from the beginning of the season has contributed and played in some way. And you've played a really condensed schedule. What's that been like for you as a coach of the team, dealing with the schedule and just the injuries you've had?
It's challenging playing the 3 matches in a weekend. There's really very little prep time. There is just recovery time body-wise, all of those things. And so you're starting to see, especially last week, just the overuse injuries, sore backs, shin splints, tendonitis, those types of things start to creep in when you're playing so much in a condensed time. So this bye week was a perfectly scheduled time frame for us.
And now you have Appalachian State, another conference opponent. What can you take from this week's practices and those pyramid schedule and try to carry it over and earn some wins against the Mountaineers?
So one of the big things is us finishing. We'll get to 20 points and we'll battle. A lot of times we'll go into extra points. And so it's really that finish when we have the advantage, that ad, and terminating that ball, not waiting for our opponents to do something. And that's really what the pyramid practice gets us in that mindset of owning your game, executing at a high level, and being that go-to player when you can. So I believe our prep mentally, physically, and emotionally has been very good so far with last week. And then combine that with these 3 practices before we head on the road, I'm excited to go and play App State.
Is a team, this is my last question. I know you had a lot of matches and things like that. Are the players, are they looking forward to getting back in competition? Because a lot of them prefer to, I assume, play matches instead of practicing. And I know it's a mixed bag for you. You want to get a break, but you don't want to have too much of a break. as far as your schedule goes?
Yes. Well, the good thing is that this was a big growth week. And so we're able to introduce a little bit more training, more concepts, tactical concepts, and then that we can apply this week against App State. So we're looking at, this is basically the halfway point of our season with only 3 more weeks to go, then another bye week in our conference tournament. So we're 5 weeks out right now. And we know right now we're fifth in the conference standings right now on our division, that we want to climb over these next 3 weekends.